All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to today's broadcast. I am Josh from ChainGuardians, joined by a whole plethora of wonderful gentlemen. I will let them introduce themselves. Let's go ahead and start off with the man right here next to me.
Wait,
Aiden, go ahead and introduce yourself for us.
Oh, that's Aiden on your screen? Oh, no.
Oh, are they backwards on your screen? I juked all of y'all with that little motion there then.
On my screen, Aiden is underneath you, so this is going to be fun.
Okay, guys, this is Aiden, co-founder of ChainGuardians. I guess, I don't know, what other intro do you guys need? I guess I've been a lot of past live streams, so you guys see me occasionally. They try to usually keep me in the cage so I don't leak too much. So since I'm here today, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you better be ready for some leaks. Last time, it became a thing. Aiden, did you catch on to the hashtag that came out of Aiden Uncaged last time you were dropping leaks in the Discord? It was hilarious. It was a great moment. Oh, that's awesome. So we do have a new face over here on the ChainBoost stream. You guys know who Ryan is. Who's this guy over here? Dan, why don't you go ahead and tell the community who you are and what you do for us?
Thanks for that. Just so you know, you are not pointing at me again, so you're pointing at somebody else.
Hey, everybody watching, they know I'm pointing at you, though. They see me pointing at you, so we know that my hand's pointing at you.
Yeah, it's great to be invited on finally. I've been trying to get on for this for weeks, but you guys have not letting me. But you had to let me come to this one because it's crossing, so I appreciate it. Yeah, my name is Dan. I am the kind of marketing lead over at Cryptoverse. I'm British. I live in London. My favorite things to do are to drink tea and watch soccer. Obviously, I'm pretty new to blockchain, I would say. Obviously. I'm pretty new to blockchain, but working with you guys is a great way to learn quickly. So yeah, really excited to be here. Really excited to get Cryptoverse out into the world and get people excited about it. Yeah.
That is awesome. We're glad to have you.
Have you on here, bud.
Yeah.
This is, as Josh mentioned, his first time getting you on the ChainBoost channel. So it's definitely a fun event for all of us. And you know, just so you know, guys, coordinating this, I'm just happy that we were able to get everybody that we did. We got people from ChainGuardians, from Cryptoverse, from ChainBoost, across the ecosystem entirely. We tried to invite Ben, but for reasons that you'll find out probably in the next couple of days, Ben is currently occupied. So, wink, wink, nudge.
Is that the first leak? Is it the first leak in the first 2 minutes already?
Already, and it's done by me. That's insane. But I mean, if Ben's not here, then it's one less person that's making fun of my hairline. So maybe that's a win. We'll find out later. Dan, I don't know if you ever heard the first time that I hopped on a live stream with Ben, he right after introducing myself, grilled me on my hairline. Like,
it was great. It became the community was making memes. It was hilarious, man. It was a great moment.
Even to the point where next time on a live stream with him, I'm prepared. He's not gonna be able to make fun of me anymore.
Did you have that before? Did you have that wig before or after the making fun incident?
That was a separate purchase.
We'll go with after.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Sure.
It's the wig for Wayne's World. If you've ever watched Wayne's World, the character Wayne, yeah. It's that.
Well, what a legendary round of introductions we have. Ryan, I can't wait to see you wear that on the next stream, to be honest with you. I can't. There's so many things between noise, items, clothing options at the upcoming fashion show that we're going to, and you wearing that wig, I feel like there's no way that we don't take over the entire world. Speaking of taking over the entire world, there are some pretty important links down in the description. Ryan, why don't you do the honors of letting them know about the specialty items that are down there? All those links they need to be clicking.
Yes, we got a lot of them, don't we? So a lot of people might know, a lot of people might not know, but CGG, our utility token, is in the middle of voting to be listed on the Bybit exchange. So if you guys don't know, it should be the very first link in the description. Tiny URL, vote for CGG. There's a lot of instructions on our Telegram, on our Discord, on the different ways that you can participate. But ultimately, CGG is going against 2 other competitors in a round of voting. And if you vote for CGG and we are the top vote getter, we get listed on the Bybit exchange. So more exchanges, more different ways, or more different paths that you can buy CGG, use it, withdraw it, whatever you want to do with the token there. But it's important that we get that out there now. Voting is live, and it's only live for, I think, another roughly 11 or 12 hours. So
time's a ticking.
Click that link, vote for us, and hopefully we can get listed on Bybit.
I love it. I dropped the link in the chat right there for them too, so it's easy for them to find as well.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Josh. Such a good host.
Brownie
Oh, you
points.
dropped it. You dropped it 4 times. Wow.
Yeah, I had to make sure they didn't miss it. Once, twice could still be overlooked. 3 times, I just wanted it to be 4. I was feeling with the lucky 4. There's 4 of us. There's 4 links. Just made sense to me, man. So there's some more exciting news coming up. If you guys are looking in the description, you're going to see a Gleam campaign for $1,000 NFT giveaway that's coming up. Where are we giving away some bunnies, man? Is that what's happened? Are these bunnies hopping into some new owners?
Yep, hopping into some new owners' wallets. It's a Gleam campaign. We are giving away 10 ChainBunnies NFTs as a part of the campaign. Just kind of something to kick off all the other giveaways we're going to be doing associated with the ChainBunnies Survival Game, which obviously reason that we're here. So if you are interested in that campaign, it's going to ask that you join the Discord, follow ChainBoost on Twitter. If you've already done that, perfect. No extra steps that you need to take, but there are a lot of different ways that you can enter the contest as well. So if you click on that link, it'll bring you to all those different ways. And the more ways that you enter the contest, the higher amount of entries you have, higher probability you win a bunny, and it hops directly into your wallet, probably about a week or 2 after the campaign.
That is legendary, man. We got a lot of stuff in the works right now, a lot of stokes in the fire, if you will. So I want to start turning the conversation towards some of these gentlemen that we have on here with us that we don't always have the access to talk to. I want to invite everybody in the chat right now to be thinking along some of the questions you might have as the conversation unfolds. There's some other links in the description. You can always click those and check that out afterwards, or you can pull it up, on the side and listen along. You can view some more information about the upcoming game that we are going to talk about on the stream, but it probably will drum up some questions for you guys. As per usual, we are going to be giving away some prizes for people who get their questions selected. I think we're going to be picking 10 winners today, guys. So there's 10 of you who are going to be winning some prizes just for being here, being engaged, and learning some good stuff. So make sure you have your thinking hats on, type out your questions in the chat, and we will select them. If your question gets asked, we'll collect your Twitter handle, and then we'll get you some rewards. But that is enough of me talking and giving you guys the layout of the LAN. Let's go ahead and jump into the first topic of conversation, which is really kind of like why we're here today, why we're even really putting on the live stream, doing these Gleam campaigns, giving away $1,000 worth of bunnies, all this fun stuff, is because we have a new survival game coming out. Ryan, why don't you lay the foundations of what the survival game is, and then we can kick it over to either Aiden or Dan to expand on that.
The concept for the survival game is actually pretty cool. As a lot of people know, we do have a event coming up in a couple months, turning ChainBunnies into Zombunnies or Zombunny NFTs. And we're kind of steering into the skid a little bit with the survival game in terms of ChainBunny lore. With the game, it is a first-person shooter, zombie mode survival game. So ultimately, the way that the game starts is you are basically in like this haunted mansion-looking thing with a very big landscape outside as well. And your job is to kill zombunny predators that are hunting you. If you have a ChainBunny NFT, you can automatically access the game. There will be different weapons that you'll have available to you, different kinds of guns. And basically what's going to happen is level by level, the horde of zombies coming after you is going to increase. They're going to be harder to kill. There's going to be more of them. It's your job to utilize your points, utilize your ammo correctly to kill as many zombies as you can and keep advancing round by round by round. It's a really cool concept, especially for me as a gamer. I've said it on the channel a couple times. RPGs, kind of my style. First-person shooters, definitely my style. So when I heard we were creating this kind of game, I was hype because legitimately the only kind of game that I play in my free time is like Warzone, Battle Royale through Call of Duty. And with this game, we're kind of taking some of those elements of like a Call of Duty Zombies mode and infusing it into ChainBunnies and adding that Web3 element in there as well. So really cool concept. Kind of happy to get that rolling here. And it looks like Aiden accidentally disconnected. Oh no.
I thought his screen was either froze or he was just really steadily holding that facial expression, so he might reconnect in a second.
Here we go. He's back.
There we go.
It's that coffee shop Wi-Fi, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know if everybody in the intro caught on whenever Dan was introducing himself, but Dan's here from the Cryptoverse, and you guys might be wondering, okay, we got this new survival game that's amazing that Ryan just told us about. So how does that tie in to the Cryptoverse? Dan, what's going on, man? What are we doing here?
Hi, Josh. It's great to be here, everyone, again. Oh, we did that already. No, joking. Listen, yeah, ChainBunnies is coming to Cryptoverse experiences, and I'll just give you a quick overview of what that is, right? So, for all intensive purposes, Cryptoverse experiences is kind of like the Steam of blockchain. That's our kind of vision for it. The idea is that whilst the dev team are working fairly hard on doing the metaverse, building the metaverse from scratch, they're working averagely hard. I understand they're trying their best. While they're doing that in the background, we wanted something for players to do now, right? So we created this platform to bring early metaverse experiences to our community today, because we know people don't like waiting, essentially, right? We're working with third-party game devs, musicians, content creators, obviously our own in-house development teams to allow people to access these cool new metaverse experiences in one place. And the really cool thing about this is that when the metaverse, the Cryptoverse does launch, all of these experiences will kind of transition seamlessly into the metaverse, right? So if you're a land buyer, you might want to buy land near the ChainBunnies game because you'll have early access to it. You can better get there really quickly, if that makes sense.
Ooh, okay. So I heard you say something that stood out to me was that as things are coming on, that will be integrated into this experience. So does that mean I literally can walk in the Cryptoverse one day and I will literally be able to walk right into the ChainBunnies game and then just start playing it right inside the Cryptoverse?
Exactly. Aidan, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so the reason why we have kind of built out this, we know UE5 is obviously what we're tackling for the Cryptoverse. It will take some time to get everything in place in terms of everyone building simultaneously as we're working on the tool. So there's a lot of people coming now to say, well, I want to deploy. How do I use my land? Can I get this, something else? I have an existing, this and that. Can I deploy? So the way that we're kind of structuring this is people just need to follow the size of land that they purchase and deploy within that size. So therefore, they can kind of already deploy the individual experiences as long as they are essentially, deploying on the same land. So then what we're doing on the next step is all the structures and everything that they're building, then we're moving that into the seamless Cryptoverse. So step one of that is when you get into the seamless world, you'll be able to revisit all these locations. It's kind of like, well, yes, I played the ChainBunnies game. I remember there's the horror house or the buildings and structures. You'll be like, oh, this is where it is. So think of it almost like a parallel universe where revisiting kind of the Warner Brothers Studios where you're gonna see, oh, that's the set. So that's kind of what you will feel like initially when you get into the overall seamless Cryptoverse. But then based on that, because on a seamless world, there is fixed logic in terms of what can be applied or not. So one of the things we're definitely looking at is to say, well, maybe in the overall seamless world, we do want this FPS type of logic. So think of it like the seamless world is almost like GTA 5, right? Which means you can do everything seamlessly. So you kind of have that transition. For now is we can enable developers right away to develop on their land, and they know exactly where this stuff is going to be placed once the overall Cryptoverse opens up. But when that does, we kind of moving towards the engine to say, well, we can't have 10 developers developing 10 entirely different FPS logic. So therefore, we'll kind of have one set of main logic, which all of them will apply. We will be providing kind of our own guidance. So stuff like ChainBunnies will kind of be used as a guidance to say, well, if you want to do FPS game, here is kind of the source code and stuff like that. You can kind of work yours out of. So ultimately, to be able to achieve kind of the seamless world all over. But in short, yes, the end experience is kind of being able to kind of run around the entire Cryptoverse with different building built by different developers, but play like GTA 5.
I can't wait to see superheroes and the little bunnies running around everywhere in the Cryptoverse. This is gonna be fun, man.
So I got a hypothetical then for you. So let's say that, something like what Dan talked about. Let's say that we have the ChainBunnies game inside of the Cryptoverse, and people that want to easily access it, let's say that they choose to put their land right next to that game, so it's just seamless transition, they're right there.
Yeah.
What if a gaming project, whether it's ChainBunnies or another project, what if they want to expand their world? In theory, if they want to expand the world and they want to, let's say, build a bigger map or build a separate map for their game, they would need to purchase the land plots directly around their game in order to do so, wouldn't they?
Yeah, so I think there's a few ways around it. So currently, what we kind of think of it is when you're inside the overall Cryptoverse, you kind of have these. Yes, you can play the experience directly inside, but you can also use that as a portal to an entirely different experience or entirely different scene. So currently, we don't have a limitation to that, so which means that yes, you can, or even go into an entirely different metaverse. So, but if you want to expand your map, we'll likely be able to make some adjustment within to say, well, this and these experiences are tied together. For example, if you have a headquarter location, a downtown CBD, but you have this entire experience you want to show the user that's kind of somewhere out there, we'd like to be able to make to say, hey, as a special, like an approval for you to go from your CBD portal directly to your experience and then be able to come back. So in terms of the logic of all the portal, whether or not you can travel instantaneously. Obviously, in general, our Cryptoverse is designed so that you have to travel from places to places to kind of see the scenery, etc. But I think when it's like a world event to say, hey, we're promoting, let's just say a music event. We don't want everyone to all come in, never been here before, having to travel an hour to get to it. So there will be kind of event-based portal that can say, hey, join the event. Here is the point you can get to it. So I think it will depend on the engagement. Of course, we're trying to limit, be able to at all time anyone go to anywhere, because I think that's kind of one of the issue with some of the existing metaverses, which you can go to anywhere. So then what's the purpose of having a good location versus a battle? So I think the way that we're building out, that is a lot more important, so that you do kind of have prime real estate. You need to be between certain places. One of the things that where the ChainBunnies games is currently placed is actually on an entertainment island right between two of the entertainment domes. So those two entertainment domes are kind of reserved experiences, so which means they're actually not for sale land. So one of the area thinking that we have is, in order for you to get in between one area to another, you have to go through the ChainBunnies game. So you kind of have to run through the FPS shooter in order for you to get to certain other experience. So we strategically make that kind of like a fun element when people are playing the game, which means it's not always there, but during a certain period of time, which it's a challenge. You have to get to the other side. They have to run through this area. So obviously, if you've been there before, if you have the ChainBunnies, it'll be a little bit easier for you to play. Currently, the ChainBunnies game is planning to say that, hey, you must have the NFT in order to be to play, but we can also open that up to say, well, if you have the NFT, you have kind of better weapon, better health, but if you don't, then you kind of have to kind of just play through as kind of like a level 1 character. So good luck running through and try to avoid all the zombies. So it's all creative ideas that we have around how we can use that to make it not just a single experience, but once in the metaverse, to kind of have things like tied together, so you can kind of have this fun extra experiences or challenges.
I'm sorry, right? It went right into my first question with how the bunny NFTs might interact in the game. You had mentioned different power traits or something potentially. Will people who hold the bunny have access and all start with the same in-game bunny, or will what bunny you're holding change your abilities in the game?
Yeah. So fundamentally, there is a few things that we're looking at. First of all, is will we allow everyone to play? I think at some point in time, we will allow everyone to play. Initially, I think we'll just roll it out to people that have the NFT. Now, when we do roll out to say, hey, everyone else can also experience and play, they will definitely start with kind of level 1. Now, so what we do have already planned is depends on rarity of the bunny. So how we have the bubble gum, we have the cow high, like the different color bunnies have different rarity because due to the number of counts that exist. The higher rarity will essentially have a starting with a bigger magazine in terms of your number of bullets you can hold. You have a slightly increased health. You run a little bit faster. We didn't want to make it so that it makes such a big difference, but it's like a pretty good perk. And I think also due to that, some of the if you have an NFT, you're gonna start in like level 3 or level 5 instead of level 1, because otherwise you'll be just blazing through the first few levels anyways. We're still doing a little bit of balancing right now, but definitely we're gonna give perks to these early bunny. One other thing that we're currently looking at, which is trying to figure out to say, well, do I want to add additional perks, not just the color, if you have a certain trait, like for example, a certain mask or a certain items in your, on your PFP trait, to be able to get some additional perks. So that will come later. We'll ultimately even be able to see those traits directly on your bunny. But at least for the version that we're releasing soon, you will have the different colors. So which means depending on which NFT bunny color you have, then you will at least be able to see in that color, and they will have a little bit of a bonus stats.
I know he's not in the live chat right now. I think he said he's at work, but reminiscent wherever you are, I think that's the clip that you're looking for.
He can't. I can't wait till he sees that.
Oh yeah,
He's here. I can see him. Like he's literally chatting right now.
Oh,
he's there.
Yep, there he is.
Yes, he said, "What did I miss?"
Came in at the perfect time. Oh my gosh.
That is hilarious. Well, yeah, go ahead, Ryan. Go.
So I was gonna ask Aiden. So we talked about how different rarities of bunnies will have different abilities, even different traits will enable different abilities. Is there anything special planned for people that hold like Goldie or Licorice, the rarest of the rare NFTs within the game? Like, do they just start with a ray gun and they can just kill everybody? Or what about the rarest of the rare bunnies? I'm actually kind of curious about that.
Yeah. Currently, we're still kind of in the balancing phase. I think essentially they'll be treated as a legendary, which is same as the bubblegum. I guess in the past, even for RPG game, we really did consider that to say, well, yes, we can have create something special, but at the end of the day, we're creating something special for that one person, and whether that one person is going to play the game, that's the other question. So at this stage, we're likely going to be able to give them a different color, but we don't want to give them like a ultra boost or anything like that. So yeah, not at this stage currently. But nothing to kind of throw off the entire balance of the game.
Gotcha.
Well, I like the idea of an aesthetic.
Oh, go on.
Go, yeah. There's so many of us.
You don't want to have that kind of pay to win element or make it really unbalanced, do you? Because then people kind of start switching off because I don't have the best chain money. I'm getting smashed. I quit. I'm out. I rage quit. Several times and I never play it again. So like, you need to have it really finely tuned with how big those perks are. I guess like they can't be too heavy.
Oh yeah, the ray gun is just my super OP example. Just like I don't want the game to be just easy for anybody that holds, insert rarity of NFT here. Like it does still need to be a struggle. If the game's not hard, no one's going to play it, right? So
I do. Oh, sorry to cut off. And I was just saying that obviously one of the things about like having at least a different color is it's almost like a skin, right? Like once multiplayer is coming, I don't know if that was actually public already, but we are working on the multiplayer version. So which means that being able to see another player that he has a gold one, I think that also speaks a lot. So hopefully he's also a good player.
So speaking of multiplayer,
multiplayer is public. I do want to mention that real quick.
Oh, it is now.
We have communicated that but said it's with future builds. So it's okay. You didn't completely come uncaged there.
I'm kind of curious as to where the origin of the idea to go in the FPS manner came from. What was like the inspiration or the reason behind that? I love it. I absolutely love it.
Sure. So I mean, high level, it was essentially more of a budget play. What we did is we had a fixed budget in terms of how much we want to spend to kind of go develop a game. Then we start exploring, what type of game should we make that's fun? Is it going to be another role-playing game, integration, or is it something entirely different genre? But then we're looking at to say, well, in the Cryptoverse, which ultimately we want to move everything to Cryptoverses, what are some of the key competencies that we want to start building? We'll be able to have, bring that in-house. So then we're like, well, obviously one of the famous genre, which we don't currently have a game for, is first-person shooter. So then naturally we're able to initially we didn't expect to be able to keep within budget to get an FPS. So we're kind of pitching out to a few studios to say, hey, want to build something? What can you guys deliver within the budget? So, one studio came back and to say, hey, can build an FPS game with this, and scope. I'm like, okay, that sounds like it's within budget, and they are, quite experienced onto building various different games. So we're like, okay, that's great. Let's take this. And then let's also from that, we will then, of course, start working with them and to kind of be able to say, hey, we're going to bring this in-house eventually. What does that, look like? What based on your kind of starting framework, what can we work with? So essentially, we did get a little bit boosted help to get started in order for us to continue to, develop the game. So that's kind of how we got to it. Was kind of just really within budget, looking at various different elements and kind of align with Cryptoverse and kind of what skill set we want to build in a bigger play. So yeah, but at the same time, creating a very good experience for the people who have invested in ChainBunnies.
Well, Dan, hearing that there's so much different capacity to do so many different things inside the Cryptoverse, that's got to be extremely exciting. Like, my mind gets blown every time that we have these conversations about how wide that scope and vision really can be to be able to make different types of genres of games inside the Cryptoverse and stuff like that. Is that something that's had you really excited?
You could say that, absolutely. I'm just excited to see all the cool stuff people are going to do, especially in the community. I know everyone's kind of working on the projects in the background, and they're all looking pretty fantastic. Personally, the gaming is where it's at, right? I love gaming, so I can't wait to play ChainBunnies. I can't wait. We've actually got another game launching tomorrow as well, Samuki. So the first Cryptoverse experience game is out tomorrow. Freeman, go check it out. I'm going to take over the stream and talk about that for an hour. Let's not. No, yeah. Cryptoverse is the limits of your imagination, right? And what I always say, actually, what we're doing at Cryptoverse, this is the metaverse you imagined when you were a kid growing up, right? So when you were a kid, you didn't imagine kind of like pixelation or anything like that. You imagined like this 4D, whoa, I'm in the Matrix, and that's what we're trying to do.
I absolutely love that. Let's see here. There is a couple of really, really good questions that are in the chat right now. So if we want to go ahead and start cherry picking some of those and setting them to the side, I have a couple. And then I want to do another quick reminder. I see a bunch of new names in the chat right now who are saying they're just popping in. Thanks for being here, everybody. You're tuning into a fantastic live stream. We're talking about the new survival ChainBunnies game, how it's getting implemented into the Cryptoverse, and a couple other major announcements about the whole entire ecosystem. Those that were here from the very beginning, congratulations. You picked up on those first few leaks. We'll do a leak recap or something at the very end of this. It'll be kind of fun, but make sure you're throwing your questions in the chat. Don't forget to smash that like button. If you're liking what you guys are getting, help us in the algorithm. Let everyone else know that we are live as well. So I just wanted to get that quick call out there. We do have the Gleam campaign again, $1,000 worth of NFTs, bunnies hopping around all over the place. Join the Gleam campaign. And don't forget to vote for CGG on Bybit. There is, what'd you say, like a handful of hours. There's like 10 hours left. This is one of the most important things that has happened for CGG, guys, because this encompasses everything. You got ChainGuardians, you got ChainBoost, you have the Cryptoverse with Dan, and you have Aiden, who's like at the top of all of it. And it is all possible with the power of CGG. So do us all a favor, Guardians Gather, go on Bybit, click that link in the description and vote for CGG. And yeah, that concludes the commercial break, guys. Back into the feature presentation.
Oh wait, one more commercial break. I don't know if we've talked about it yet.
But wait, there's more.
There is also another link in the description. It's titled Name the Game. I don't know if we've talked about that yet, but we are giving the community the opportunity to name the upcoming ChainBunnies Survival Game. So if you guys have name suggestions based on everything you've heard today, based on the genre of game, just based on ChainBunnies lore, maybe, go ahead and click that link, drop your suggestions. Whoever suggests a name that we choose, you win a free ChainBunny. So definitely a good opportunity there. Ultimately, a little peek behind the curtain, we had a lot of names that were thrown out there for the game. I think we had 2 different chats that were talking about this with like 10 different people. We had all of these different suggestions, and then Emma just comes in one day and she's like, hey, what if everyone just voted for it? And we're just like, yeah, that works.
Let's do that.
So,
I love it.
So yeah, just one more opportunity to win a ChainBunny as a part of this minigame campaign. There's a lot more opportunities coming, by the way. But just one more thing, if you choose the name of the game, you win a bunny. So commercial break over.
Can I ask a question quickly? What are some of the good names you guys have heard so far and that you're impressed with, and you think could be the one that wins, or is that, can't you say, is that like impartial?
I think I'll say one. The favorite name that I saw was from the person who's creating the Zombunnies lore. Their name suggestion was the Hopping Dead.
Yes,
the Hopping Dead,
like the Walking Dead, but the Hopping Dead. I love it, dude.
Exactly,
I absolutely love it.
that was my personal favorite suggestion. I think there were a couple more that were thrown out, like World War B or something, World War Bunnies maybe. But yeah, those were
like
my
a 3
favorite,
but backwards
Emma
for
was
the
just
B.
like, hey.
So I'm not allowed to potentially. Well, I don't want to say leak, but a concept we discussed that was quite fun earlier today. Maybe that can give some inspiration on the naming. So one of the things we've been discussing is as we're to look into turning ChainBunnies into ZomBunnies. The question was always like, is it a ChainBunnies game? Was it a ZomBunnies games? Because obviously you have ChainBunnies shooting at the ZomBunnies. But one of the things that we do have on the roadmap for ZomBunnies is to I did say ZomBunny, so which means that if we mint all the ZomBunnies intended, then we will be looking at adding a additional multiplayer ability, which is giving a user to be able to play as ZomBunnies. So which means you will be a user shooting around, another player would have a lot of health, but he is going to be a ZomBunny. Now, so Noid and I were pitballing just earlier on different call. We're like, because I think Ash was like playing was the game earlier. She's like, oh, I turned around and she was playing with the beta. She turned around and then like Bunny like appeared like, and it spooked her, right? Because like she turned the corner and then the ZomBunny was there. But I'm like, what if we give like, because Noise is designing the ZomBunny, I'm like, why don't you give like one of the ZomBunny like laser eyes? So it's like, but like she has like X-ray eyes. So it's like, so imagine a player that can play ZomBunny, but you can see the player can't see you. You have X-ray eyes, so you can always like hide behind all the buildings, and then like when the player shows up,
I hope I mint the bunny with wall hacks. That's what I'm saying.
So we start being very creative. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Once ZomBunny is out, and people can also play as the the zombie version against the player. So I think it'll be a lot of fun.
That would be awesome. But if we have a bunny with wall hacks, we also have to have one with built-in aimbot too. Like if it has the Colonel Sanders beard, automatically just aims at the head, no matter what.
I love that it's expanding.
Maybe if you get a Go Bunny, right?
That's the feature you were looking for earlier, Ryan. There it is.
Yep. Boom.
Oh, that's so awesome. So, final question for everyone that has played the game before we start picking out some questions from the chat here is, does anybody want to share their personal first impressions that has got some time to click a couple bunnies yet? I haven't had a chance to dive in yet. I'm leaning on y'all's experience here.
I haven't gotten a chance to play the game yet, but I talked to Ben and he did. So I'll share Ben's experience because he's not here. But what he told me is he barely made it to round 5. If not, I don't even think he made it to round 5. He's not the most experienced person with FPSs. I think more MMORPGs is kind of his style. But he said the game was extremely challenging, but it was fun.
Is there a level cap yet? Is there like an announced level cap?
100 level cap, I believe, is the intention there. Aiden, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's 100 levels. And with the game, you have to be very tactical about the guns that you use, the different ammo. And from what I heard from Ben is that, it does take a little bit of trial and error. You obviously do need to figure out the rhythms of the game, the movement patterns, how it all works. But he only made it to level 5. So me, as an experienced FPS person, I'm just cracking my knuckles going, all right, I got to at least be able to get to level 7 or 8.
Yeah, like if we don't smash it first try, we're embarrassed, man. Our pride is on the line.
I got to put down the sticks. I got to retire. Like, if I can't make it at least to level 7 or 8. So, we'll see. But I haven't gotten a chance to play the game yet. Dan, Aiden, maybe you guys have?
I actually played it early today to give it a little tester. And I'm ashamed to say that I got to level 2. So I don't know if that, maybe I got to level 200 or 20. I don't know. Maybe there's a typo or something.
maybe I missed a 0.
No, the thing was, right, I wasn't playing with a mouse. So, you need a mouse to play FPSs on a PC. I was using my little trackpad and my fingers are not, that mobile apparently. So I got slayed pretty quickly, but I had fun. And what I like most is when you said laser eyes, I thought of they've got really red eyes as somebody's having. You can really see them stand out more than anything. It's a perfect place for a headshot, but I kept missing. But I really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know we're currently working through talking to Noi, who were just playing it earlier. It does have controller enablement. There's a few little bugs that we're just gonna that we have captured or we're gonna fix before kind of we do the public release. But one of the small bugs that Noi had was like after he hit like some menu button when he exit, the right button doesn't work anymore. And so I was telling him like, oh, you know, to the dev, that's actually a feature. So it's like, like after like a certain by level 3, like your right button, you can't hit the right side anymore. You're injured or something. But I was like, hey, we might actually make that a feature, right? Like by like level 70, like sorry, you don't have right on anymore, so you can't turn to the right.
I feel like Ben implemented that feature just so that we could all be handed. That way, the people that would go further levels than him would be handicapped. That way, we can't make it that far. I think that's what that was.
I was going to make a suggestion actually. We could. I think we should have a flashlight feature because it's quite dark and quite scary. So I think flashlight sounds like a brilliant idea. What do we think?
Yeah.
Is that approved right now?
One of the things that's actually it's also in the spec is as the level gets harder, the fog of war actually get denser, so it's actually going to be much harder to see. So,
yeah, that makes sense.
Counter to your flashlight is going to get worse.
So it just increasingly adds the horror element to the game, then, right? Like,
exactly.
So basically what I'm hearing is if you're young, scared of the dark, don't like zombies, don't play this game at night. Play it during the day, open up your curtains, or else you're gonna get scared easy.
They no longer like zombies anymore and bunnies anymore, right? After that.
They used to be so cute. Oh man, there are a lot of really great questions in the chat here. I have doing my best while we carry on the conversation. I've snagged a couple of them and thrown them to the side. So if you guys want, we can start with one of the ones I have here. But if you any of you guys have some that are already selected, I'd love to start with those. If not, I'm going to pivot to one of these. Which one is it, fellas?
No, go ahead and start on your questions. I think I don't have any chosen here, but I'll keep the chat open. I do want to briefly shout out Crypto Monk. I believe you were asking me in the chat a couple days ago, the ChainBunnies chat, about controller integration. I believe I just answered that question for you. So hopefully that's sufficient. And guys, if you do have questions that are dropping in chat now, or you already have been dropped in chat, we are giving away USDC for the users who have their questions selected. So if you don't have questions already in the chat, it might be a good opportunity to put some in. We'll reach out to you after the event, either through Twitter or through Discord, and we'll get that prize coordinated for you.
Rock and roll. So the first question that I have here comes from Aaron SE. And the question is, will 3D models of the ChainBunnies reflect their picture equivalent? We talked about it inside the game specifically a little bit about like whether or not they're going to have extra powers, or maybe rare bunnies could look a little different. But what about just in the Cryptoverse in general? Like, do you get to walk around as your bunny avatar in the rest of the Cryptoverse? Is that on the docket? What can they expect in terms of that?
Yeah. Go on, Adam.
Okay, yeah, Dan, you can start first.
Absolutely. The plan is obviously avatars that you have in the ChainBunnies will be eventually you'll be able to be them in the Cryptoverse, right? You can be anything and be anyone, and if you want to be a crocodile, you can in time. Which is that's what I want to be. So just on the record, I want to be a crocodile. So my short answer is yes. The ChainBunnies are coming to Cryptoverse as an avatar. I don't. You probably got more to add to that. You probably say no actually, and I'm not saying.
Yeah, I want to mention. Where we currently stand is we're as much as possible. The way we kind of see issue with other social VR app like VR chat, which is obviously very popular out there, is that people can use any avatar. Initially, when we release, I think we will focus on using almost like approved collection. So think of it like if OpenSea or X2Y2 happen as an approved collection, then those NFT will be our primary target to be able to use inside the Cryptoverse. Now, we are actually working with one partner project. We can't announce which one yet, relating to working with them as well. Both of our own ChainGuardian characters, the ChainBunnies, as well as this one other third-party project. We're using it as an example to say, hey, we can work with you guys to create PFP into kind of 3D characters, and then for you to be able to use them. I think there's kind of two ideas around that. One is, will you be able to use these characters as your avatar? But secondly is, will you be able to see it as an NPC, so outside of your character, so that when you populate your your VR room, not only do you have obviously yourself, but you can also have your other avatar there. Of course, the idea is around kind of making it so that it feels a little bit live, right? We have a little bit of like an idle animation, so that you can interact with. Obviously, longer term plan is to kind of to be able to tie in more of the AI to NPCs, etc. I think that's gonna make stuff a lot more interesting. I won't leak too much of our thoughts around there, but at least in the near term, you guys do know that we have published and was on the Las Vegas, where we showcase our VR experience. So currently our thinking is that more of that VR experience will be coming to allow individual people to have kind of their VR room, which you can kind of save and see the stuff that you have a position back in there, invite other people to see it. So I think that would be the primary use case for people that have bought an individual parcel, which essentially have your personal gallery in terms of very high 3D Unreal 5 engine graphics. I was actually last night just playing with, because we're going to New York Fashion Week upcoming, so I actually playing with the what you call it? They call it business streaming they call it the Bifocus 3, which you can set up multiple different headsets. So we're currently working on an upgraded version of that experience, which is moving what we used to use as Twin Motion for the VR to moving that actually directly into UE5, so that once we have that is this individual dome, which you can see. We used to just showcase it inside the VR for Vegas experience. We try to make that so that everyone can actually have that experience. But in short, the next major thing I think for the Cryptoverse is people having their own individual NFT gallery in VR. And then of course these NFT you talk about, either you as an avatar, but initially I think more interesting is just able to see all of your collection into 3D, right?
Yeah.
So whether it be money, whatever, and then be able to invite other people to see the gallery. But I think the step afterward is then, well, it's almost like VR chat, which is, well, I'm now the bunnies, well, I'm a character, and you're now another character. Can you start now doing interaction between them, which is the multiplayer aspect of things? And that's why also another reason why we're focused a lot on, okay, how do we do these multiplayer very well? We'll have bring that in-house so that we can also extend that to, hey, it will be a VR room, which you have, a almost like reality VR room. I don't know if you guys seen it already, the Vegas experience or stream that. Maybe we can set up another stream which I can showcase some of that stuff. But it's literally, I was like, with my VR headset on yesterday, looking at a cardboard image, and then we're able to now render it in VR so high quality is almost like reality. So that's actually quite impressive, because if you look at all the existing platform like Xbox platform, etc., the render is not quite there, which means like very low poly. So we could definitely set up a stream maybe like in a next week or two, maybe even before the Fashion Week, which I can show you guys some of the stuff like in 3D, which it looks really quite impressive. So because I know there's a lot of competitive stuff like doing obviously metaverse, but I think I just want to go back to the definition of, first of all, a metaverse is supposed to be VR. Secondly, it's supposed to be decentralized. So I think our ethos of the Cryptoverse does follow all of that, right? Which means we use blockchain. And also we don't use one specific blockchain. We're a project which we work with all the blockchain, right? Matic is our partner, Avalanche is our partner, Algorand is our partner, Binance is our partner. We enable all this change because right now what we're also seeing is a lot of people doing to say, hey, I have a blockchain, I'm going to make a metaverse my blockchain. But I think that's kind of like forcing the metaverse narrative now that it's hot into a blockchain. But for us, is we continue on that path of it should be interoperable. It should be interoperable chain. We enable any of the chain. However, we do spend a lot of emphasis to make sure that the chain and everything and the technology is mature before we go push it. So that's where we spend a lot of our tech bandwidth. Anyway, sorry.
No, I think it was perfect. I mean, you touched on some things that I think are really exciting for people to hear. I think that, one, knowing that we're going to New York Fashion Week is going to be pretty huge, because that really highlights the phygital aspect that I'm sure a lot of people have seen, come through on our Twitter with some of the merchandise and stuff. You guys are going to be able to see how that is evolving and what's happening next. So make sure you guys are tuning in to all the content that comes out of New York Fashion Week. It's right around the corner. I think, Dan, we're like, less than 30 days away from this whole thing kicking off now. So it's not going to be far before they're drowning in some of this content from that. So it's going to be a great time there.
Man, it sounds like Dan has a little bit of work on his plate now. Maybe in a week or two, doing an event with Aiden, showcase that VR capability. Because I think out of the four of us, you were the only one that was in Vegas for the trade show, right? So you're the only one that was experienced that VR setting live.
I have tried it live, yeah, and it's brilliant. And I'm really looking forward to the upgraded version that Adam talks about. This live stream is just commit me to, though. Don't know about that. Let's have a think. Let's take that offline. No, of course, if it's looking fantastic, everyone will want to see it. And like Josh said, we'll be at the Fashion Week and we'll be showing you whilst we're there as well, I imagine, live streaming it right to your faces from New York.
That's probably the best way to get a peek at it, is to tune into all the stuff that we throw out from the Fashion Week that day. Yeah, that'd be great, man. There was another question I think that directly linked into what was just said, and I was thinking it because you made a couple really good points there. Reminiscent asks if there is rewards for the survival game that are decided on, like will players that play be rewarded in any way, whether it's C tokens or CGG, or can you maybe unlock NFTs, or what's the idea there, or is it more of a fun, entertaining piece? What's the vision there?
Yeah, it's not fully solidified yet, but currently inside the game, you will be able to earn a currency which you need in order for you to upgrade your weapons, etc. Now, we are thinking about potentially making a token. Essentially, it's a carrot token. Bunnies, carrots, so that people can actually earn and collect. Now, ultimately, what we want to do for sure now, what the narrative is, the people that owns the NFT and people that are top players or that very invested top of the ecosystem will be able to earn, and essentially what they own is it's backed by the Cryptoverse land itself. So which means that they will then be kind of, you can call it a part owner of the experience that is deployed on. So that's kind of the way that we're kind of running through kind of the decentralized route. So yeah, I think the economy around that is to say, well, maybe if I want to get to a higher level, I do need to purchase some kind of additional in-game asset. Then I want to get quicker, so I want to buy these carrots from the other players, and thus you kind of create economy around that. We're still kind of discussing that, but at this stage we're more focused on still like the game balancing, like how fast can user reach like level 10, maybe like Ryan jump on and you can reach like level 50 for a single player mode. So we have to see how well that balances, so that we can start integrating the earning a token part.
I love that I'm hearing you put an emphasis on getting the balancing and the gameplay mechanics in first, instead of it just being one of those, oh, we're excited and we're just going to throw it in there. Like, I think it's so important that there's that touch put onto it, and I know that everybody listening is going to value that point of view that you just shared as well. So thank you for that. I have a couple more questions here, but do you guys have any that stood out to y'all? I think I've done 2 official ones. I think maybe 3.
I'm searching through the chat, but if you have one already ready, then go for it.
This is the one that connected to something you mentioned earlier, and my brain just couldn't grasp it. You had mentioned the fidelity of graphics earlier, Aiden, about how jumping in.
Oh no! Did we lose Josh?
Oh,
we've
I'm
lost
here.
You briefly.
Can you hear me?
I can imagine what you were. Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if the chat heard everything, but earlier you had mentioned the fidelity of graphics on Xbox, which makes somebody in the chat ask, what all devices will the ChainBunnies game be available for? What are we thinking there?
Yeah. So currently the ChainBunnies game is on a desktop build. So essentially PC and Mac. We are in the midst of working through our pipeline to release also on mobile. So, and that would be directly iOS. So initial version, which will be MetaMask controls, which means you have to launch the game, connect your MetaMask. Essentially what it's going to do is going to launch the game, tell you to connect MetaMask. It's going to go back into your browser, ask you to do a signature, a sign, right? Your typical MetaMask sign. And then you will then, it will store the signature on your browser, you copy it, and it will go back to the game to sign you in. So that's kind of the connection between the desktop application and the MetaMask itself. Now, so what we are going to do is then to obviously deploy it on Unity. So I'm going to deploy it on a the game itself is actually structured built in Unity. But obviously there's a migration and porting that we're doing with Unreal, etc. But I guess what I'm saying is there will be a mobile version of it as well, because we can very quickly deploy it on mobile, and we're all trying to get into the App Store as well. So you will be able to see we have got to prove our IDs for like created by we short form to call Cverse, so it'll be released like the Cverse as the company, and then you have the ChainBunnies game you can download, because in the initial experience I think you actually have to download the desktop app. Some people initially worried about, well, you have to download the desktop app, I don't know what I'm running, but once I think it's approved in the App Store, then I think people would be a lot comfortable just downloading in general. But obviously we have access and able to look through the code. So obviously we know, and we want to make sure there isn't any nefarious, because obviously we're here for the long term. So that isn't an issue. But for those someone brand new from ecosystem may not be familiar, they might be wanting to maybe wait until it's formally released on the App Store to download.
Well, it kind of by default creates a little bit of an incentive or a reason for people to be there early and support the game early, because it say that carrot economy does end up taking off, right? All those players who are in on and know their way around the game, and you learn the mechanics, and you already are familiar with everything, and you're gonna have a leg up on the people who are coming in further on down the road. So it's kind of a reason to be involved from square one and keep going. I love that there's that idea to expand it to mobile, because holy cow, once it hits mobile, that gives it the opportunity. You talk about mass adoption and that being a goal with ChainGuardians and CGG and all that, like that's where you can get in front of so many people. So that was a great question. Thank you. That was Chabel that asked that in the chat, asking what devices it would be played on. So you know what I have not done yet, Ryan, is ask anybody for Twitter or Discord IDs. Do you happen to, has anybody dropped anything in chat yet, or do I need to do a run?
I think we might need to do a run through of that. So if you just type in everybody's username in there, people can drop their Twitter handles in the chat box, or if they take a screenshot of the chat to prove they are who they say they are, they can send me a message on Discord as well.
That's a great idea.
So if anybody,
it was Aaron.
Reason,
Sorry, it was Aaron, SE, Chabel, and Reminiscent. So 3 were the official questions I've asked.
All right, so Reminiscent, I believe I already have your wallet address. We've talked in chat a couple times, but Aaron and Chabel will definitely need to get yours. So if for whatever reason the chat box isn't working for you to drop your Twitter handle, then just go into the ChainGuardians Discord, find me. I'm listed as one of the gatekeepers in that Discord. Ryan, just send me a message and we'll get you squared away.
Easy peasy. All right, so there's got to be a couple other great questions hiding in here.
Yeah, I got one from I think it's Fitz XP. Let me find it. So I think what Fitz XP was asking is if there's going to be any kind of medals or leaderboard so that people can show off their accomplishments and their achievements within the game.
Compete with your friends, see who gets further, stuff like that.
Yeah, so I think we talked about the idea of there possibly being rewards or some kind of token economy for the top people on the leaderboard. But Aiden, if you don't mind going into that, is there any kind of medal system as well?
Yeah, well, first of all, there's definitely a leaderboard that's in the spec. So it has total survival time, total zombies killed, total point spending, max round defeated, total points earned. So that's there. Now, currently, our thought process around joining the entire just like play to earn aspect of it is more leaning toward, I would say, loyalty to earn, or kind of we want to make sure at the end of the day is people that's like involved in the ecosystem, which means if you have spent a lot of time and you have achieved top score, we will be rewarding. So the idea is to say, well, either it be not just this carrot token, maybe even some CGG, because for anyone that has spent significant time, like even like 200 hours, but up to like 1,000 hours on anything, you are kind of attached to the brand for a long, forever, right? Because it's kind of like because you will forever stay with you. So like, hey, I remember that ChainBunnies game. So like for us, that's very important. So people which are like building, obviously like loyalists to a certain brand. So we think that's actually very important. So I think rewarding these people is definitely what we want to do. Now, however, with obviously A, the bear market, just to be realistic, and B, this whole thing about, well, play to earn actually doesn't really fully work unless it's almost like a pyramid, which you have infinite new people coming in. We are very careful in terms of what exactly we're doing here, which means like, well, it's not like every bunnies you kill, you earn like 1 CGG, right? So I think we're kind of rethinking about that model a little bit. However, we do definitely want to reward people who are engaged in the ecosystem more so than to say how many kills you have, because then obviously there's the issue with botting and multi-accounting and all that stuff. So once we build the leaderboard, we will definitely have a lot of fun activity, maybe like community nights, and say, hey, within this Friday evenings, within the X amount of hours, those who are involved, who are the highest points within the leaderboard, and to be able to reward based on that. So A, community-driven events, B, top leaderboard, where people that actually spend significant of time playing it. Maybe it's like the person that died the most. I don't know. But like,
there could be some funny rewards in there.
Yeah. So I think it's just kind of people are being engaged, because we have seen that if you make anything that's too loose in terms of play to earn, there will be people who are opportunist, if you could call it, that would say, hey, I want to take that opportunity and to really earn, and kind of ruins the game for everyone else. And then you have other people complaining, etc. So yeah, we are carefully, we obviously understand this play very well. This is obviously something top of mind, and we continue to look at, what are the industries doing? Is this kind of, how we want to make our game in terms of the incentive mechanism. But for now, the way that we kind of think about a top leaderboard, you will be able to earn stuff like, hey, maybe it's additional NFT which we buy, off the floor and give to these top people, or some kind of to say, hey, top leaderboard, you will also get this additional NFT, which you can now also be part of the owner of the land that's deployed on. So essentially, we're saying a lot of location will be backed by the Cryptoverse land, but the land itself, think of it this way: as we're to expand the main Cryptoverse, we will likely be adding stuff to it to say, hey, inside the game, you will see an exhibit, which you will see kind of the top players, or like names of people, or like, all the kind of 3D asset, maybe even integrated so that while you're playing the game, you're like, oh, I actually want to buy another bunny. You can buy directly inside the game. So then what we'll do is obviously buy from OpenSea, and perhaps, part of that fees from OpenSea can then be shared back to the people that owns the land. So there's a lot of creative economy that we can create so that each individual game experience is self-sustainable. Because the reason why we're kind of going down this path is, as we are onboarding a lot of other games into the Cryptoverse, or in terms of this metaverse experiences, we are definitely thinking about that. We have a lot of traditional games coming to say, hey, how do I get involved in the Cryptoverse? I either have an existing 3D game, but I have a 2D game. How do I get in there? How do I kind of understand to be part of this Web3 economy? How do I make it, sustainable? So we are obviously, discussing with a lot of projects around this, and obviously does trying to apply the best practices for ourselves as well.
I have a request. The moment that I make it a further level than Ryan makes it, I would like for there to be a billboard in the Cryptoverse that says it.
There you go.
No. Weren't you like minor leagues or like kind of pro level at Halo?
I don't game. I'm not a gamer, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not a gamer.
No. That's BS.
What make it a permanent feature is like, here is Ryan, and then like, where's everyone else? Like, that's the bar.
Yep.
Be great.
This is the vision. I think every single time I come on a ChainBoost live stream, with whether it's ChainBoost centric, different project, people will be able to show off and just yell at me in chat and be like, hey, I got further than you, what's up? And just continuously rattle me as I'm going down these events. But it does lead me to something kind of interesting coming up, a little bit of alpha for people. We are going to be doing a little bit of a mini game demonstration next week. Josh, I might actually ask if you to join me on that one, possibly, if you want to help host.
Yes.
But we are going to be doing an event in Discord, and part of that event, we are going to do a little mini gameplay demonstration. So if you guys actually want to see me in action, you'll be able to see it there, because I will be demoing the game, at least the first level for y'all. So you get a little bit of a taste of what the game is like.
No pressure, buddy. No pressure at all. Then.
Oh, not at all. No. See, here's the thing though. I'm happy that Aiden called out controller integration for the game because I am WASD illiterate. So like the movement with the keyboard and mouse, I can't do. Controller, I'm good at. So
I got years
my,
on the sticks.
so that's my fail safe. If I can't make it past level 1, it's because I just don't know how to use a keyboard. I just don't.
You just have to hold forward to get past level 1. That's how easy level 1 is, right? So I think you should be able to do that.
Yeah, no. I think level 1 is kill like probably 2 or 3 bunnies. If I can't do that, I just retire from all FPSs. I think at that point, CS:GO, Halo, Warzone, it's done. Career's over.
The career is over. That is too fun. Let's see. How many questions have we asked? Do we have a couple more in the tank? A couple more prizes we can give out?
Yeah, we got a couple more. Dan, I don't want to make you lonely, so maybe we'll try to find a question here that's Cryptoverse related for you.
Oh, please do. Yeah, I love questions.
Actually, this might be a Dan and Aiden question.
Perfect.
Will ChainBunnies ever be sold or traded on the Cryptoverse marketplace? So obviously we've talked about ChainBunnies being infused as avatars. Obviously the game is going to be entering the Cryptoverse as well. But will the NFTs themselves ever make an appearance on the marketplace?
I think that's one for Aiden to actually to mull over. What do you think, Aiden?
So in general, what we're trying to make the Cryptoverse marketplace is anything that does go into the Cryptoverse. So which means if you're approved to be using the Cryptoverse, then it's going to be there. So which means that makes sense, right? Which means for us, it's essentially just adding another NFT collection, which is not an issue at all. Just for us is want to make sure that it is categorized, which means is ChainBunnies going to be a object or is it going to be an avatar? So that inside our Cryptoverse store, we can start to say, hey, I'm looking for avatars for that you can find these avatars and these. So it's like another way to represent, marketplaces, but in our own form. But obviously, which means that they are then approved within the Cryptoverse, which means you will be able to see that. So obviously, at this point, the ChainBunny is not yet inside the Cryptoverse. It is coming, so I think it definitely makes sense for us to be adding them into it, and that is kind of the plan. Which means when you go to a Cryptoverse marketplace, you can see everything that's approved and inside the Cryptoverse. Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope for our sake, because I know OpenSea has their 100 ETH floor in order to get verified, get that blue check mark. I hope ChainBunnies we can just get that blue check mark right out of the gates. I hope that'd be a big help for me. Okay.
I see the question that I liked actually.
Perfect.
So 50-something asks, are there any plans to kind of live stream the game on Twitch and like competitions in the future? I think that's guaranteed, isn't it? Like we're going to be live streaming this, playing it. I imagine there's going to be some kind of like CG versus Cryptoverse, the Cryptoverse versus community type events. I feel like that's going to be every Friday, basically. And then we'll all quit our jobs because we've been playing this too much.
I would like to point out that I am the only one here with a crosshair. I'm going to win the FPS championship of Bunnytopia.
Yeah,
Bunnytopia 2022. Wait, oh crap, you're right. I meant told on myself.
Yep.
Was that a leak?
Maybe.
Whoops. No, that's not a leak. It's just insight into how I'm going to kick off my streaming career. I think Josh already kind of streams in his pastime. This is how I do mine. This Bunny game.
I don't know how you could tell I streamed.
Just so you know, one of our co-founders, Robbie, is fantastic at FPSs, and he would go mad at me if I didn't bring that up. So he's gonna be all over trying to win this, and he's very competitive.
All right, so it's right now. Robbie might be my top competitor. Robbie, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Robbie.
yeah, he's pretty. He's pretty good.
This is awesome. I can't wait to actually get on there and see the leaderboards that we talked about and see the community having fun. And I love being able to compare my stats to like all my friends that I have. So like it'll be cool, like you said, to have that internal competitiveness of like which team's doing better. Is it the CG team, the ChainBoost, Crypto, like all that stuff. It's gonna be bananas. So I can't wait.
Real quick,
carrots.
I do want to interrupt. It looks like Ben is in the chat. So anybody who's in the chat, you might be able to see him. He leaked what I was kind of talking about earlier, why he's not on the stream. He's talking about working on a really cool governance proposal that everybody here is going to like. So yeah, little leak for you. Maybe you guys will find out in the next couple of days. Who knows?
Heyo. Oh man. So do we need to snag any more questions, or are we all prized out? We need to hit some final announcements, or we need to pick up more questions. What are you feeling, Ryan? Dan?
I think we got
Aiden?
I think we got time for one more. Aiden,
Yes.
Dan, if you guys are good with it.
Yeah, of course.
All right, perfect. Josh, do you already have a question in mind, or do you want to search for one?
I asked my questions, actually. Sorry, I can find one.
I'll find one if you want, guys. I've got one right in front of me that I've got my eyes on. So currently there are 100 levels in the game. Nakari Russell asks, will missions change each level, or does it get progressively harder each time? And what happens after level 100? Is it just over and you kind of start again? Or is that kind of like plans to have a nightmare mode, you know?
Yeah, there's a few things that we've been discussing, and maybe we probably don't want to leak. One of the things like we're like saying like, hey, maybe we need there's no such like there's no cow level. I don't know if people play like Diablo before, so like just like secret level. So that's something that we'll be thinking about, but I don't know if it's necessarily going to be at the very end. But the secondly, I think it's within the game we talked about earlier, it does progressively get harder. There is more spawns, there's more spawn point, and there's also more fog of war. But overall, it was in the game. There's actually different areas. So in the first few stages, you only have access to a smaller area. Then I think there's the backyard, there's the basement, and it's like this like chest that spawns new weapons that you can pick up throughout in the game. So the game isn't like the same game you're playing 100 level, but it does throughout the first several I would say stages. I don't know exactly how many, where you will be able to explore and open up new areas. So it does get quite of a fair size to play with, but it does get progressively harder. Then you will reach kind of like the cap even with your weapons. Like, well, okay, I gotta really play multiplayer. So that's kind of how we're structured. That's why most people are just getting to level 5, etc. Currently, it's because we do expect people to be able to play multiplayer. Now, what we're not too sure at this time is once we add the player-based zombies, how we will do that, right? Does that mean people just come in and randomly they can join other people's game and say it's like Ryan just joined the game as his own buddy? It's like, oh no. We do want to make sure that people that has his own buddy would have that capability to play as his own buddy, so give them that extra perk. So I think the end goal is maybe not just think about like, hey, is a 100 level. I know there's like people that plays, they go back to all the traditional Nintendo games, try to like break the game. I think pretty much at the end of the game, we don't know what Easter egg we'll put in there, but we also don't expect anyone to reach level 100 anytime soon. So so let me just leave it at that for now.
Yeah, I mean, if the furthest that we've gotten as a team is level 5, then we're gonna need someone seriously skilled to get to level 100, unless Josh just picked up the sticks and
I think somebody in chat's gonna get it, dude. I think I'm talking all this smack up here, but I think somebody in the chat's gonna take the cake for sure, man.
Can I suggest something actually? At the moment, there's a pause menu, so in theory you could pause buffer your way through the whole game very easily. Pause, but but actually we should remove that pause feature, I think, so people have to do everything in the moment.
Oh, they just keep coming at you?
Yeah.
I think we'll figure a few things out. There are definitely very interesting stuff we can do if we want. It's like, for example, such as which mean like well, obviously multiplayer, even if you pause, I mean, you're still there, the game still runs, like the website is still there, so essentially like when you're on pause, you're gonna be dead. But there are actually other thoughts around to say, well, do you actually want to create a hardcore mode, which like can you within that season, you only get to play once. If your buddies die, then it dies for that season. They have to come back the next season to play. So that might be quite interesting. Kind of survival mode. So there's different game mode that we're thinking of to kind of spice things up a little bit.
You could have to use carrots to revive your bunny. Yeah.
Or if you have 100 bunnies, just let them die.
Yeah, exactly. So
Permadeath, that is harsh. That is really harsh.
I was gonna say that, but like there is obviously the destruction permadeath if we want to go to that, right? Like one-on-one, like permadeath, like perma NFT destruction, lock in NFT into play. One lose, sorry, everyone else has died. The final burn, and then you become zombies.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. Yeah.
Like a forced conversion. So, yeah.
Oh man. Hey
like
Ben,
that.
Ben, yeah, you should just hop in here, man. I can send you the link real quick. That's too fun. Man, so there is there any final announcements that we need to get rocking and rolling with? Any final call outs that anybody wants to make before I run through mine?
I guess the only call outs that I'd have are probably the call outs that you're talking about, everything in the description there. I think I already mentioned that we are going to be doing a Discord event next week. That's going to happen on Wednesday, live game demo. So anybody who kind of wants a sneak peek into the game, I'll be in there for a couple minutes kind of showing off. You guys will be able to get to watch me fail, possibly die at level 1, all that fun stuff, because I am WASD illiterate still.
I'm just going to shoutcast over your entire gameplay. Ryan rounds the corner around the tree. Here comes the zombie.
Oh, and then actually one thing that is not in the description, an ongoing Discord contest. We do have the channel in Discord, Battle of the Bunnies. For those who don't know, we are doing a contest in Discord. We are giving away one bunny NFT every single day to the users who create the best ChainBunnies content. Now, that whatever that content is, it's completely up in the air. It could be claymation, it can be edits with ChainBunnies, it can be poetry, music, whatever you want to create around ChainBunnies. It is very open-ended, just has to fall within the community guidelines in Discord. So if you haven't already participated in that, the channel is under the ChainBoost section in Discord called Battle of the Bunnies as well. Just look at the pinned message and it should tell you everything you need to know. That's the one call out that I have. I'll pass it over to Aiden or Dan if you guys have anything to add.
Yeah, I've got a new album coming out. No, I haven't. Lies. But I might do one day. Yeah, obviously the first Cryptoverse experience launches tomorrow. It's Samuki. It's an MMR, and it's got a free mint. So please do check that out. Give it a go and let us know what you think. Yeah, just give it a go. And we're also going to have a ChainBunnies competition as well. Just need to think about what that is.
Still pending. Details pending.
Coming soon.
Dun dun dun.
All right, Aiden, what about you? Any final thoughts here before Josh signs us off?
No, I think we pretty much got things covered. I think in general, we are really happy with kind of a lot of progress that's going on, because we're driven by a lot of deadline, and thus we're getting a lot of good progress, especially around everything around the Cryptoverse. We're seeing a lot of interest of not just games, but also like different brands wanting to build inside the Cryptoverse. We are all, of course, building our own technical repository of stuff that we can do, which means doing a video stream inside experience, doing a driving type of experience, doing a first person shooter experience. Then we can kind of package that up to be able to provide to many other people coming in to say, hey, I don't know what I want to build. Hey, I have something that I want to bring in. It could be a movie production that they want to do. So be able to convert those using our skill sets and experiences to kind of build stuff within the Cryptoverse. We're also working with several onboarding our solutions team in terms of if someone entirely don't have any dev, they just want to build stuff, they have some budget, they want to promote a brand, then not only we provide some basic tool, then the solutions team can take those tools to develop stuff for these brands. So we're looking at expanding that as well, because there is a lot of demand. I think fundamentally I want to mention the reason we kind of call it the Cryptoverse is because everything is kind of backed by blockchain tech. So that's kind of, I would say, a very main focus, and not just one blockchain, but we're open to engage with all of these blockchain, because as a ChainGuardian brand, we are obviously, supporting all the chain agnostic, multi-chain. So I think, yeah, that's very, very important. So yeah, super excited we are, going this path, and obviously like reality type of virtual world, I think super exciting too, because people come to me and say, hey, I have this like other gallery that I'm seeing. What's the difference between the metaverse and this? I'm like, well, go take a look at a shoe inside our metaverse. It looks like I have a real shoes and I have this like other metaverse shoes. The shoe in the metaverse actually looks even better than my real shoe. Also like, some other projects like, wow, you have this low poly box. Here you go. That's the shoe. So I think we're able to capture some, I would say some traditional, very high end the reason why we're doing fashion is because we're able to target our audience, right? Because if you think of, let's say, if your girlfriend want to buy like a Chanel bag, right? If that's the clientele, like would she want to have like a low poly Chanel bag, right? Like in AR, like that doesn't make sense. So I think we do have the right we have the right positioning for our overall brand. So plus that we're doing games, everything. I think I think we're in a very good position to move forward and also execute. And maybe the last bullet is luckily that we were not at all impacted via the kind of the bear market. We didn't use the UST chain. At least we didn't get to create anything at that time. So we kind of bypassed that. We're not involved with Celsius or anything like that. We were actually very close to one of the top VCs, which was impacted, but we didn't put any investment directly with them. So we're in very good position to execute. We actually started running a lot of new. We're about to run our Avalanche validator node. You guys know we are the top validator for Polygon, top 10, like most stake for Polygon. So we're about to start to launch the node for our Avalanche. So our goal is not only do we promote the tech need to be ready because we develop our own NFT on that tech. We also, once it's that, we go behind it and we support running the validated node for it so that we take part of that decentralization. So therefore, I think we're in a very good position to execute in many ways versus other metaverse play out there. Yeah.
No, I love it. It was well said. There's a lot going on there. You did a good job at highlighting the kind of the whole future direction of everything. We're all, all of us are here gathered today because we're all on this big giant boat and we're all rowing as fast as we can to get to that further destination. And each step is another innovation. It's a new breakthrough, and we just keep trucking. We keep striving our way forward. And I think it's really fun to see how the vision is able to not only keep pacing, but is able to be able to kind of keep being able to provide exactly what it is people are saying that they are excited about and what they want. Like you said, like who wants to go get this really high-end Chanel bag and then have it like super low-grade poly? Like that kind of takes the excitement away of it being digital, right? Of having that extra piece. And so it's like, I love seeing that push.
Giving it to your girlfriend, like giving it to your girlfriend. Here's I spent like $30K on this like low poly bag,
and she has to be like, "Oh, I love it." Oh, I love it. It's so good.
I can only picture Emma's reaction if that ever happened to her.
That's kind of what I was saying as soon as you said it. It was so great. She's like, yes, thank you.
That's why we're working in such high poly, because of Emma and how she wants it to look.
Exactly right. She's like, I'm not excited yet. Keep doing it.
Yeah. Better, please.
Oh, it's so good. Well, guys, you all got to hear a lot from us about everything that we are doing to push everything forward and move it along. If you want to do your part to help as much as you possibly can, then vote for CGG on Bybit. Go ahead and click that first link in the description. Make sure you go in there and you vote for CGG. When you click that link, it's going to take you to the Discord. So if you're not already there, obviously it's just going to join you. It's easy. And then you'll be looking at a step-by-step on how to do this and be a part of the Guardians that are gathering to pull this off and make this happen. So thanks for everybody that's already casted their vote. For those who haven't yet, it's super easy. Just click the link, follow the steps, bada bing, bada boom, and then we're good there. There's other links in the description we've talked about extensively. $1,000 bunny NFT giveaway. It's going to be bananas. I don't know why I keep saying bananas. It's going to be carrots. It's carrots. I'm rewiring that in my brain. It's old habits. And then, Ryan, am I missing anything? Did I hit them? Did I get the links?
Name the game.
Name the game.
Remember, you win a bunny if you name the game. So click on that link, drop your suggestions. I believe we limited it to everybody gets 2 suggestions. So you have a couple of tries, but make them good. You only get 2. So
use them wise.
Use them wisely. Make the name bunny themed, make it zombie mode, FPS themed, whatever you got to do. But ultimately, if your name is chosen, you win a bunny. So definitely a good opportunity to get involved if you're not already involved in the ChainBunnies ecosystem. Or if you are already involved, Zombunny season is right around the corner. It's happening in October. What better way to get ready for Zombunny season than by picking up an extra bunny for free?
Well, yeah, I think back to that live stream we did, Ryan, where we gave away like 50,000 CGG. Was it 50,000 CGG that we gave away? Or it was ludicrous. It was absolutely. And then I'm thinking about all these opportunities that I'm seeing with people having now about being able to be an early supporter, in ways that they can take advantage of land inside the cryptoverse that Aiden was mentioning about. If you're strategic about where you're getting, there's so much opportunity for those that are diving in and really engaging in the community on a holistic level and not just one piece or the other. You really can maximize like what the ecosystem has to offer if you really embrace the whole thing. So guys, thank you all for being here. It's been a fantastic live stream today. Thanks to each and every one of you gentlemen for taking time out of your day and entertaining me and the rest of chat, getting together and jumping on the stream with us. So thank you, gentlemen. And yeah, I think that's pretty much gonna do it for us today, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow us on all of our social media. We've talked about the links extensively. Thank you all for being here. I am Josh from Chain Guardians, joined by my fellow amazing men, and we will see you on the next live stream. Signing off.
Cheers, everybody. See you soon.
Thanks.
閉ざされた